नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि. Bhashya, Shloka 66. Let us chant the shloka first. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Let's continue the Bhashya. Nityanancha karmanam punyalokaphalashrutehe varnaha ashramascha swakarmanishtaha ityadismatescha karmakshayanupapattihi. The Purvapakshi presented a plan to exhaust all karmas in one janma itself. In his plan, the Purvapakshi made an assumption that nityakarma does not produce any phala. Nityakarma does not have any phala. Instead, if you do nityakarma, you are just avoiding the pratyavaya. By performing nityakarma, you can avoid pratyavaya. That was Purvapakshi's assumption. Now Siddhanti says, this assumption is not correct because the nityakarma has phala. We have already discussed this in a few places. Nityakarma has phala. It is told in Shruti as well as Smrti. See, Nityanancha karmanam punyaloka phalashrutehe. The nityakarmas have punyaloka phala. Attaining a punyaloka is their phala. This kind of Shruti Vakyas are there. And also there are Smritis. Varnaha ashramascha swakarmanishtaha ityadi smriteshcha. There are Smriti Vakyas which talk about the phala of Nityakarma. And the Smriti is quoted here. Varnaha ashramascha swakarmanishtaha. The people belonging to a particular varna and people belonging to a particular ashrama, swakarmanishtaha, if they are committed to their karma, their swadharma, then after death they attain punyaloka. This has been stated in Smrti. Therefore, karmakshaya anupapatti. By performing nitya karma, you cannot expect karmakshaya, exhaustion of all karma in one janma. because by performing nitya karma, you are adding to your karma. Even because of this reason, Aikabhavikavada is not correct. Yeah. Bhashya ye tu ahuhu nityani karmani dukkharupatvat purvakrita durita karmanam phalam eva natu tesham स्वरूपव्यतिरेकेण अन्यत् फलम् अस्ति अश्रुतत्वात् जीवनादिनिमित्ते च विधानात् इति. Yeah. Now, Bhashyakara presents another contention of certain Purva Pakshis. According to them, Nitya Karma does not have a phala. Instead, they say the Nitya Karma is a phala of the previous duritas. The papas which we have done previously, their phala is experienced in the form of Nitya Karma. That is their contention. See, ye tu ahuhu, ye janaha, some people, the Purva Pakshis, they say, what do they say? Nityani karmani, the Nitya karmas, dukkha rupatvat, they are dukkha in nature. Nobody wants to do Nitya karma because it is dukkha rupa. That is why we have to keep telling aharaha sandhya mupasita, do sandhya vandanam, etc. We have to keep telling. Then only some people do if they have shraddha. The rest of the people don't even get up early in the morning because it is dukkha rupa. So nityanam karmanam dukkha rupatvat. It is painful in nature. It is taxing in nature. Therefore, purvakrita durita karmanam phalam eva. The nitya karma itself is the phala of purvakrita durita. न तु तेषां स्वरूपव्यतिरेकेण अन्यत् फलम् अस्ति. They do not have any other phala than their swarupa, than their very nature. Being dukkha rupa, being painful in nature itself is their phala. They don't have any other phala. Anyat phalam na asti. It is like some people, they want to trouble others. So what do you get by troubling others? Troubling itself is the phala. Troubling itself gives satisfaction. They don't need anything more. In the same manner, being troublesome itself is their phala. They don't have any other phala. Why there is no other phala? Ashrutatvat. Because no other phala has been told for them in the Shruti. While enjoining nitya karma, the Shruti does not mention a phala. For this phala you should do nitya karma. It is not told. Then what is told? See, for any karma, there is a nimitta, a reason for which purpose you have to do that karma. A criterion is there, a condition is there. For example, पुत्रेष्ट्यायजेत पुत्रकामः. A putrakama means one who wants a son. He should perform a yajna called putreshti. This is mentioned. Now, for performing putreshti, what is the nimitta? The nimitta is putrakama. Having a desire for a son is the nimitta. Only if you have a desire for a son, you are supposed to perform putreshti. Just like that, you need not perform putreshti. Therefore, having desire for a son is the nimitta for performing putreshti. In the same manner, what is the nimitta for performing nityakarma? What is the criterion on which you have to perform nityakarma? The answer is there is no special criterion. Instead, the Shruti says, Yavajjivam agnihotram juhuyat. As long as you are living, you have to perform agnihotra. Yavajjivam. As long as you are living, you have to perform agnihotra. Therefore, Purvapakshi says, Jivana is the nimitta for performing agnihotra. Being alive itself is the nimitta. It is the reason, it is the criterion for performance of agnihotra. Jivana nimitte cha vidhanat. The nityakarmas are enjoined based on jivana as the nimitta. Unlike any other karmas, like putreshti, etc., which are enjoined for some other reason, like putrakama, etc. There is no such nimitta for nityakarmas. As long as you are living, you have to perform it. That means there is no other phala. Bhashya na apravrittanam phaladana sambhavat dukkha phala visheshanupapattischa syat. Yaduktam purvajanma कृतदुरितानां कर्मणां फलं नित्यकर्मानुष्ठान आयास दुःखं भुज्यते इति तत् असत् नहि मरणकाले फलदानाय अनङ्कुरीभूतस्य कर्मणः फलम् अन्यकर्मारब्धे जन्मनि उपभुज्यते इति उपपत्तिः. अन्यथा स्वर्गफलोपभोगाय अग्निहोत्रादि कर्मारब्धे जन्मनि नरक कर्म फलभोगानुपपत्तिः न स्यात् तस्य दुरितदुःख विशेषफलत्वानुपपत्तेश्च अनेकेषु हि दुरितेषु संभवत्सु भिन्नदुःख साधनफलेषु नित्यकर्मानुष्ठान आयासदुःखमात्रफलेषु कल्प्यमानेषु द्वन्द्वरोगादि बाधानिमित्तं न हि शक्यते कल्पयितुं नित्यकर्मानुष्ठान आयासदुःखम् एव पूर्वकृतदुरितफलं न शिरसा पाषाणवहनादिदुःखम् इति. Yeah. Siddhanti is refuting this contention of Purvapakshi. First Siddhanti answers with the Sangraha Vakya. No, it is not so. Siddhanti gives two reasons. One reason is apravrittanam phaladana sambhavat. According to Purvapakshi, the nityakarma anusthana can be considered as a phala of all the karmas which are done in the previous janmas. But here there is a problem. There are two types of karmas. Some are not giving phala in this janma. They are apravritta karma, meaning sanchita karma. Only the prarabdha karma gives phala in this janma. The sanchita karma, which is apravritta karma, it cannot give phala in this janma. Therefore, the assumption that nitya karmas are the phala of all the previous karmas, this does not hold good. Because nitya karma anusthana cannot be the phala of apravritta phala karma. If at all you have to say they are the phala, you can consider them as the phala of prarabdha karma, but not apravritta karma. That is one reason why Purvapakshi's contention is not correct. And another reason, dukkha phala vishesha anupapattischa syat. Dukkha phala vishesha anupapattischa. According to Purvapakshi, performing the nitya karma is the phala of all the previous karmas, especially durita, all the previous duritas. If performing nitya karma itself is the phala of all the previous duritas, then the idea that a particular type of durita will have a particular type of phala, this cannot be explained. For example, killing a mosquito cannot have the same phala as killing a cow. Mosquito hatya, mashaka hatya, and go hatya cannot have equivalent phala. For every type of durita, there has to be a particular type of phala. Therefore, in Purvapakshi's plan, in Purvapakshi's idea, the unique phala of a particular type of papa cannot be explained. This is Sangraha Vakya. Now, Siddhanti explains the Sangraha Vakya. Yaduktam, Yaduktam, पूर्वजन्मकृतदुरितानां कर्मणां फलं नित्यकर्मानुष्ठानाया सदुःखं भुज्यते इति तत् असत्. यत् पूर्वपक्षिणा उक्तं, what was told by Purvapakshi, पूर्वजन्मकृतदुरितानां कर्मणां फलं, the phala of the duritas, the papas done in the previous janmas, it is experienced in the form of the ayasa dukkha, the pain in the form of effort, in the form of ayasa, by the performance of nityakarma. Bhujyate, it is experienced. Iti, this is Purvapakshi's contention. Tat asat, Siddhanti says it is not correct. Why it cannot be correct? Purvapakshi refutes it point by point. Number one, नहि मरणकाले फलदानाय अनङ्कुरीभूतस्य कर्मणः फलम् अन्यकर्मारब्धे जन्मनि उपभुज्यते इति उपपत्तिः. So, he is elaborating on the first reason given in the Sangraha Vakya. That is, apravrittanam phaladana asambhavat. This part of the Sangraha Vakya is being explained. The Siddhanti says, we have done many karmas in the past life, past many lives. We have done many karmas. What gives its phala in a particular life? It is the prarabdha karma. And the prarabdha karma manifests at the last moment of the previous life. A dying person, when he is dying, at that time, the prarabdha karma for the next life manifests. That is being told, maranakale, at the time of death, phaladhanaya anankuribhutasya. So the prarabdha karma is ankuribhuta, means it sprouts, it germinates. Germinates means it starts yielding its result at the time of death. Yeah, because see, death means exhaustion of prarabdha karma. The prarabdha karma responsible for this life is exhausted at the time of death. When this life is when the prarabdha responsible for this life is exhausted, Immediately after that, the prarabdha responsible for the next life manifests. That is the point when the prarabdha for the next life manifests. That is being told. The prarabdha karma is the karma which ankuri bhavati. It germinates, shoots up at the time of death. But then there are so many other karmas which are not ankuri bhavanti, which are not manifesting during the death. Here, death means previous death. The prarabdha karma that we are experiencing now manifested during our previous death. See, this idea has to sit in our mind properly when we study Vedanta. Nowadays, there is a concept, you live only once. What is it called? YLO, something like that. Some word is there. I'm not getting it. You live once only, something. You live one life, something like that. So it is a popular concept nowadays. It is like a charvaka concept. Rinam kritva ghritam pibet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya punaragamanam kutaha. So there is a the modern things are like charvakas. So, but in our shastra we should be very clear. You are not living only once. You have already lived infinite number of times. So during the previous life, the previous death, certain prarabdha manifested, and that prarabdha is giving its result now in this janma. So in this janma, what karma we can experience? We can experience the result of only those karmas which had not given their, which had not manifested, sorry, which we are experiencing only those karmas which manifested during our previous death. And the karmas which have not manifested during the previous death, they are not going to yield their result in this janma. For them to yield their result, at least we have to wait until the next chunk of the karma, you know, manifests. It is like your mobile recharge. In Geo recharge, you have to put a plan. When one plan is active, you can add another plan, but the other plan will remain in line, in queue. As soon as one plan gets exhausted, then the other plan becomes active. It is like that. So the Siddhanti says, Maranakale phaladhanaya anankuribhutasya. The karmas which have not manifested during Maranakala means they have not started their phaladana. They have not started yielding their result during Maranakala. Means anarabdha karma, sanchita karma, karmanaha phalam, their phala, anya karmarabdhe janmani, in a janma, which is started by some other karma. Other karma means karmas other than which have not manifested. Anya karmarabdhe janmani upabhujyante iti na upapattihi. They are experienced in a particular janma. This is not possible. Meaning, the the janma, which is started by a particular type of punya, cannot allow certain other type of karma to fructify in that janma. Suppose I have a devata janma. What am I experiencing in the devata janma? The phala of certain punyas. In the same janma, I cannot experience the phala of certain papa, which requires a naraka janma to experience. Anyatha, see what will happen otherwise. If Purvapakshi's contention is accepted, what is the problem? Siddhanti explains. Anyatha, otherwise, Swargaphala phalopabhogaya agnihotradi karmarabdhe janmani. A janma is produced by the agnihotradi karma, means punya karma, which is responsible for Swargaphala bhoga. Swargaphala upabhogaya. For the sake of Swargaphala upabhoga, somebody has done agnihotradi karma, and that karma has produced a particular type of janma, which is a devata janma, a devata sharira. That sharira, in that naraka karma phala bhoganupapattihi na syat. In that janma, can one experience naraka phala? It is not possible. Naraka phala bhoga anupapattihi. It is true. In agnihotradi karmarabdha janma, naraka phala is not possible. But if we accept Purvapakshi's contention, naraka phala anupapattihi na syat. You could not have explained why naraka phala is not possible in that janma. That is the problem if we accept Purvapakshi's contention. So, anyatha naraka karma phala bhoga anupapattihi na syat. Means naraka phala upapattihi syat. If we accept Purvapakshi's contention, even in the devata janma, one should have been able to experience naraka phala. But it does not happen. Yeah. Tasya durita dukkha vishesha phalatvanupapattescha. Yeah. Now, the first reason is explained so far. Now, second reason, dukkha phala visheshanupapattischa syat. This second reason in the Sangraha Vakya is being explained. Tasya means nityakarmana. The nityakarma. It cannot be considered as the phala of a particular durita. Durita dukkha vishesha phalatva anupapatteshcha. A particular type of dukkha, a dukkha vishesha, is the phala of a durita vishesha. A durita vishesha is responsible for a dukkha vishesha. Means gohatya. If somebody does gohatya, he will get a particular type of dukkha. Mosquito hatya, it may give another type of dukkha. Brahma hatya, it will give another type of dukkha. So, durita vishesha is responsible for dukkha vishesha. This is told in the Shastra and it is logical also. Every karma cannot have a uniform type of phala. Every durita. Somebody steals 100 rupees, you give him life imprisonment. Somebody kills 100 people, you give him a life imprisonment. It is not possible. So, if we accept that the nityakarmas are the phala of duritas, all the duritas, then we will have to accept that all karmas give uniform result. Whatever papa you have done, nitya karma alone is the result of that. It is also not possible. See, tasya means nitya karmana durita dukkha vishesha phalatva anupapatteshcha. It cannot be the phala of any particular durita which leads to a particular dukkha, particular type of dukkha. Bhashyakara explains this reason. Anekeshu hi duriteshu sambhavatsu भिन्न दुःख साधन फलेषु भिन्न दुःख साधन फलेषु the phalas of various dukkha sadhanas, the results of various karmas whose phalas are various types of dukkhas, and therefore anekeshu duriteshu sambhavatsu, there are varieties of duritas possible. So duritas are of various types and their phalas are also of various types. In that case, nityakarmanusthana ayasa dukkha matra phaleshu kalpyamaneshu, if they all produce one same type of result, which is nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkha matra, if that alone is considered as their phala, kalpyamaneshu, if it is considered so, then how can you explain all other dukkhas? If the phala of all the previous duritas is nitya karma anusthana, then how can you explain other dukkhas like headache, etc.? See, dvandva roga adi nimittam nahi shakyate kalpaitum. Then there will not be any other dukkhas like dvandva, shitoshnadi dvandva. Even that produces dukkha. And roga also produces dukkha. How do you explain this dukkha? That is another question. Nitya karmanusthana ayasa dukkham eva purvakrita durita phalam na shirasa pashana vahanadi dukkham iti. And also one more reason. The same reason can be understood in another way also. How can you say only the dukkha of nitya karma exhaust the previous karmas, previous papas? Why not other dukkhas? Instead of performing sandhyavandanam, I will perform some other karma which gives me dukkha, like carrying a big stone on my head. Shirasa pashana vahanam. Even that gives dukkha. Let us take that dukkha as the phala of the previous karma. See, nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkham eva purvakrita durita phalam. The ayasa dukkha caused by nityakarma anusthana, this alone is the phala of purvakrita durita, and not any other dukkha like shirasa pashana vahanadi dukkham, like carrying pashana, a stone on the head. That pain is not the dukkha of previous papas. How can this be imagined? This is another question we have to ask the Purva Pakshi. Aprakratancha idam uchyate nityakarmanusthana ayasa dukkham purvakrita durita karma phalam iti katham aprasuta phalasya purvakrita duritasya क्षयः न उपपद्यते इति प्रकृतम् तत्र प्रसूतफलस्य कर्मणः फलं नित्यकर्मानुष्ठान आयास दुःखम् आह भवान् न अप्रसूतफलस्य इति. Yeah. Now Siddhanti says that Purvapakshi's argument that the Nitya karmas are the phala of Purvakrita Durita, this is aprakrita. This is out of context. Purvapakshi's solution is out of context. Idam aprakritam uchyate. What is aprakritam? Nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkham purvakrita durita karma phalam iti. The ayasa dukkha born of nityakarma anusthana is the phala of the durita performed in previous janma. This argument itself is aprakrita. It is out of context, because our discussion is not that at all. Katham Purvapakshiyas, Katham Aprakritam, how it is Aprakrita. Then Siddhanti explains how it is Aprakrita. Aprasuta phalasya purvakrita duritasya kshayaha na upapadyate iti prakritam. The prakrita, the context is that the purvakrita durita, the duritas which are done in the previous janmas, and they are aprasuta phala. They have not yielded their result. Their kshaya is not possible. Their exhaustion is not possible. This is prakritam. This is the context. Because that is the objection Siddhanti raised against the Purvapakshi previously. But for that, Purvapakshi is answering that the Nityakarma Anusthana exhausts the karma. It is the phala. Tatra, when this is the prakrita, when this is the context, तत्र प्रसूतफलस्य कर्मणः फलम्, the phala of prasuta karma. Prasuta karma means prarabdha karma. Aprasuta karma means the sanchita karma, which has not yet started giving result. Prasuta phalasya karmanah phalam nityakarmanusthana ayasa dukkham aha bhavan. You gave the solution for the prasuta phala. Prasuta phalasya karmanah phalam nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkham. It is the ayasa dukkha of performing the nityakarma. This is what you are saying. Na aprasuta phalasya iti, not aprasuta phalasya. According to you, the nityakarma is not the phala of aprasuta phala, because nityakarma cannot be the phala of aprasuta phala, because aprasuta phala cannot give result. So it is like if somebody asks, how can I go to Delhi? You are explaining how you can go to Bombay. If the discussion is how to go to Delhi, you need not explain how to go to Bombay. It is aprakrita. Now the problem is, see, in Purvapakshi scheme, where is the problem? In Purvapakshi's scheme, the problem is aprasuta phala cannot be exhausted. Prasuta phala will be exhausted. Prarabdha karmanam bhogena kshaya. Prasuta phala will be exhausted. How to exhaust the aprasuta phala? That is the problem in Purvapakshi's scheme. And for that he says, if you perform nitya karma, all the phalas are, all the karmas are exhausted. But the problem is the nitya karma. See, any phala which is experienced in this janma can be the result of prasuta phala only. Therefore, Purvapakshi's argument is aprakritam. तत्र प्रसूतफलस्य कर्मणः फलं नित्यकर्मानुष्ठानायास दुःखम् आह भवान् न अप्रसूतफलस्य इति. Therefore it is aprakrita. अथ सर्वमेव पूर्वकृतं दुरितं तत् प्रसूतफलम् एव इति मन्यते भवान् ततः नित्यकर्मानुष्ठान आयास दुःखमेव फलम् इति विशेषणम् अयुक्तम् नित्यकर्म विध्यानर्थक्य प्रसंगश्च उपभोगेनैव प्रसूतफलस्य दुरितकर्मणः क्षयोपपत्तेः. Atha, then in order to defend himself, the Purvapakshi might have to say that there is no such thing called aprasuta phala karma, because if all the karmas can be exhausted in this janma, then he cannot say certain karmas are aprasuta phala. In order to defend himself, Purvapakshi will have to say that all karmas are prasuta phala. Means all karmas yield their result in this janma. See, atha, on the other hand, sarvam eva purvakritam duritam. all the duritas done in the previous janmas, tat prasuta phalam eva iti manyate bhavan. You think that they are all prasuta phala karma. All of them yield their result in this janma. If that is your supposition, in that case, tataha, in that case, you need not say that nityakarma anusthana dukkha alone is its result. Nityakarma anushthanayasa dukkham eva phalam iti visheshanam ayuktam. This statement that nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkha alone is its phala, this is not proper, because any prasuta phala karma, it is exhausted by experiencing its result. Therefore, you need not make an assumption that nityakarma ayasa, nityakarma dukkha is the phala of all the karmas. Because the phala of any prasuta karma, is experienced by us in headache, etc. Headache and other things. Therefore, nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkham eva phalam. Only nityakarma anusthana ayasa dukkha is the phala. This visheshan, this specification is not proper, because all the prasuta phalas are experienced in various ways. All that we are experiencing, all the difficulties that we are experiencing, is the result of prasuta phala karma, like headache, fever, everything. And also, another problem in this argument, nitya karma vidhi anarthakya prasangascha. In that case, there is no purpose of nitya karma vidhi. The injunction of nitya karma will not serve any purpose. Nitya karma vidhi will become anarthaka, redundant. This is another problem, because according to Purva Pakshi, nitya karma is performed in order to experience the result of prasuta phala karma. But anyway, we are experiencing the result of prasuta phala karma through other experiences, through other pains. In that case, what is the purpose of doing nitya karma? So, nitya karma vidhi anarthakya prasangascha vai upabhogena eva prasuta phalasya durita karmanah kshayopapattehe. Because the prasuta phala durita, it is experienced, it is exhausted by upabhoga itself, through experience itself. Means through fever, headache, etc. You don't need nitya karma to exhaust them. किंच श्रुतस्य नित्यस्य दुःखं कर्मणश्चेत् फलं नित्यकर्म अनुष्ठान आयासादेव तद्दृश्यते व्यायामादिवत् तत् अन्यस्य इति कल्पनानुपपत्तिः जीवनादिनिमित्ते च विधानात् nityanam karmanam प्रायश्चित्तवत् पूर्वकृत दुरितफलत्वानुपपत्तिः यस्मिन् पापकर्मनिमित्ते यत् विहितं प्रायश्चित्तं न तु तस्य पापस्य तत् फलम्. Kincha, also another problem in Purvapakshi's contention. The nityakarma which is enjoined by the Shruti, Shrutasya nityasya, the nityakarma is enjoined by the Shruti, Shrutasya nityasya karmana. Dukkham phalam chet. If dukkha is the phala, see, this itself is a problem. Dukkha cannot be the phala of something which is enjoined by the Shruti. If Shruti enjoins something, it should be for something good. Just dukkha cannot be its phala. That is another problem. But Siddhanti is not focusing on that problem. But he is saying, if dukkha is the phala of nitya karma, then nitya karma anusthana ayasadeva tadrishyate. It is seen on account of the effort while performing the nitya karma. Vyayamadivat, like while performing vyayama, exercise, etc. While performing exercise, we get some pain, some fatigue, some dukkha. And this dukkha is the phala of the vyayama. This dukkha cannot be the dukkha that you experience while performing the vyayama, cannot be attributed to any action other than vyayama. While performing exercise, I am getting some dukkha. I cannot say this dukkha is because of some other action that I did 10 years back. I cannot say that. The dukkha I am experiencing while performing the vyayama is the phala of the dukkha itself. In the same manner, the dukkha which we experience while performing nitya karma is the phala of the dukkha itself. It cannot be attributed to some other karma. Therefore, the dukkha experienced through nitya karma cannot be the phala of purvakrita durita. That is the idea. Tat anyasya iti kalpananupapattihi. It cannot be imagined as the phala of something else, means some other karma than the nitya karma itself. This is another problem in Purvapakshi's contention. And one more reason, जीवनादि निमित्ते च विधानात् नित्यानां कर्मणाम्. The nitya karma are enjoined based on jivanadi nimitta. As long as you are living, you should perform the karma. Jivana is the nimitta of nityakarma. Jivana adi, Jivana etc. Yavajjivam agnihotram juhuyat. One should perform agnihotra as long as one is alive. In this manner, Jivana is the nimitta of nityakarma. If something is the nimitta of the nityakarma, it cannot be assumed as the phala of that nimitta itself. The nimitta itself cannot be considered as the phala of that karma. Prayashchittavat, like prayashchitta. Bhashyakara is giving an example to understand this reason. Purvakrita durita phalatvanupapattihi. So, yasmin papa nimitte, papa karma nimitte, yat prayashchittam vihitam. Okay, we will see this tomorrow. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.